Yes, it's official. I now have the One UI 7 stable on my S24 Ultra and as well the One UI 7 on my S25 Ultra. And yeah, I'm not saying stable, I'm not even sure anymore which is the most stable One UI 7 version. This one on the S24 Ultra or the one on the S25 Ultra. Yeah, watch the video, there is a reason for that. But guys, a lot of drama involved. People were waiting for months, but hey, Samsung is Samsung, so they waited for a long time, but hopefully they're now giving us what we wanted. Or do we get what we deserved? Alright, let's watch the full video, guys, and let's see what we have in the S24 One UI 7 stable versus the S25 7 stable? Let's see. Finally, here we are. Galaxy S25 Ultra, Galaxy S24 Ultra, One UI 7, Android 5. This is the stable version on both phones. But on the S24 Ultra, we do have the Google Play System update from the 1st of February this year, still running 1st of October last year on the S25 Ultra. The build on the S25 Ultra is the AYC2. Here we do have the BYCG, and also pay attention. The Android security patch level on my S24 Ultra One UI 7 stable is from the 1st of April. Here we are from the 1st of March. Guys, I'm using the same wallpaper on both phones as I really want to give you this tour to understand if there are any differences and what are the similarities, because at the end of the day the S24 Ultra was the flagship from the previous year. It's still a very powerful phone and we kind of expect to get almost all the new features from One UI 7, and I think I have a nice way showing this to you. But first things first, and you probably already noticed, this is the same weather widgets. I do have almost the same layout and the same wallpaper, but there is two things that you can notice straight from this welcome or home screen. I think the first is very obvious. So apparently this thing here, the Now brief, doesn't exist in the S24 Ultra. Right now we're not sure if this is going to be implemented on a later stage or this is going to remain exclusive for the S25 series. Now, some words about the Now brief. Well, it's supposed to be some kind of a personal AI assistant that will gather what you do through the day and then give you some nice tips about the weather, and then even suggest some playlists from Spotify or from YouTube. All it will kind of scrape the news for you. Honestly, it's something that I don't really use that much. You can use it when you wake up in the morning, then on lunch, and in the evenings you get like a summary for what happens next, powered by AI Galaxy. But right now all the meaningful things that it gives you are things that you can anyway access directly on the screen. So like, why should I go inside to see the weather, right, which is here, as I can directly click here and access the weather. Speaking about the weather, it is absolutely the same widgets, the same software, and I do believe the same experience. And guys, I told you in the beginning that there are two things that you can immediately notice on the main screen. The first thing is very obvious, as it's the Now brief, but pay attention, there is also another difference. Check what happens here, guys. This is my battery icon on the S25 Ultra and this is my battery icon on the S24 Ultra, and I think everybody's now aware that they are not so similar. This one here is bigger, but I don't think that this is the only change, and I also believe that this thing here is going to get replaced with this thing here. So right now I kind of assume that the One UI 7 that I got on my S24 Ultra is probably a newer build versus what I got already on the S25 Ultra. And there are some more changes here, but I'm gonna go back to this. Now, the first thing I want to show is apparently the quick settings. I don't think there are any differences. It's absolutely one and the same. It's the same implementation that I have on the S25 Ultra. Honestly, I really like the way Samsung redesigned it. It looks better and it's also very much organized. Also, you have these quick shortcuts. When you click on the brightness button, it will give you more access, more settings. The same happens on the volume rocker here, right? So this is a good implementation. Now, I have a bit more here under sound effects. So not only Dolby Atmos and the equalizer, but also boost dialog and loudness normalization. I'm not even sure if those things are available here or if they will get at some point here, but it looks 99.9% the same. Also, all the nearby devices where you can see all these smart accessories that are connected to your phones. So here we don't really have a lot of differences. Also, there are certain settings You can rearrange it. It looks exactly and it feels exactly the same. You can also click on the panel settings. You can go for separate, for a together view, or you can also get a quick panel on your left side. So I think here Samsung did a good job. It's absolutely the same experience. When I swipe from the left corner, I will get access to my notifications. The animations are the same with this bounciness here. Right swiping left, right will get you the same. All the groupings is the same. And of course, you can also click here and clear all the notifications. You're gonna get the very same visual experience. What happens when I go to the right, and this is my Google Now menu, guys, I can just scroll down, right, one swipe, and I'm gonna go back to my home screen. Of course, here I do have the side panel. Now this side panel is customizable. You can put more icons there. There are some new things that were there from One UI 7, like the storing assistant, right? I'm gonna start it for the first time, unleash the artist inside you for the first time on my S24 Ultra. It really works exactly in the same way. We do have also the circle to search. So let's say that you're scrolling through something, you wanna check something, you hold this button here. All right, everything pretty much the same, guys. So honestly, there has been a lot of drama and a lot of controversy with the One UI 7 update, and it was really delayed for so many months, the stable version. But what we need to understand is that this is a very big overhaul. And I don't want to be the Samsung lawyer here, but you see the point. It's really big change, a big overhaul, and let's hope that they were able to bridge some of the gaps that were there before, like the inconsistency with the interface in terms of stuttering and in terms of smoothness. A lot of these things right now are resolved. Also, what I want to share with you guys, I've been using the One UI 7 6 betas on my S24 Ultra, and the experience wasn't bad from the first beta. So we have to appreciate this, but I do understand the frustration because a lot of the users remained and are still to this day on One UI 6.1, and they are still not getting the stable One UI 7, which is sad because apparently you have to be on a specific version for One UI 6.1 and then get the update over the air. And there are some people even having a newer version of One UI 6.1 and still don't get it. So it is still a bit messy, and I really hope that Samsung will be able to deal with this in the best possible way by just giving more and more to the users and hopefully cope with this frustration. But since we're here, I want to show you something that I found out, and it's interesting. Previously, when I went inside the settings, all right, this is the S25 Ultra, remember, and this is the S24 Ultra, and I have to say it because, yeah, I'm joking, right? You see the corners. Now, when I went inside the settings on my S25 Ultra, it was able to understand me speaking. This is the so-called natural language processing or understanding, which means that I can say something like, hey, the volume is too loud, what can you do for me? Something like this. Probably it's a bit stupid, but then it's going to get all the settings for you. Or also, how can I increase the brightness of my display? And you can see, guys, now the settings, thanks to AI and thanks to the natural language understanding, will be able to give you a better support. You can just speak to your phone and tell your phone what to do. And by the way, those were some lame examples, but there are some things that I believe are better, like for example this one. Make scrolling smoother. All right, and then guys, you can see motion smoothness. You can directly click here and it's going to just highlight, you know, the setting that apparently you can change. So this thing was not working in the betas for the One UI 7 on my S24 Ultra, but right now I guess a lot of these things are there. And I was thinking, and remember I shared with you in the beginning of the video, what is the best way for us to check really what Samsung are doing, because there are some things, guys, and believe it or not, there are some things that do work on my S24 Ultra, and they do work since the beta 5 or 6 of One UI 7, but I still don't have them here. And at this point of time, I guess you are already scratching your head and like, hey, what is this guy saying? Well, let me show you, right? I'm gonna play a song, any song here on my Spotify, and I wanna share with you what happens. So let's say I'm playing this nice song from Metallica. The moment I go outside, this is going to get minimized in the now bar. And this is, by the way, cool. So not only here, guys, but also when I go inside my lock screen, I do have the now bar. When I click here, I get this very, very nice like full screen view. And of course, when I go inside, it still stays on the now bar. And if you don't know, the now bar is, I do believe, Probably Samsung responds to the dynamic island of Apple, but it's so much better for me. And it's also very useful, guys, because let me show you, I can now put a voice recorder, right? So now I can just click here and I'm gonna have both of them, okay? See, I have this one and that one, all right? But it gets even better. Why is this guy telling us that this is so much better than the dynamic island? All right, it's better for me at least, but what happens when I put a counter, or let's say a stopwatch on the navbar here? So I have it here together with my recorder. I can now, guys, lock my phone, right? And if you have always on display on, this thing is going to work even on your always on display, and you can stop, right? You can resume it from here, and you can also just see all the pills. And honestly, I kind of like the implementation by Samsung. So now let's open Spotify on my S25 Ultra and play something random, and you will understand that this is also causing some frustration because yeah, this thing gets minimized, but I don't really get it in my navbar. And it's really not ideal because the next time when I go on my lock screen, I can see the navbar and it's here and I can tap it and I'm gonna get this, I do believe, one of the best, media player experience, maybe this one and the Pixel, right? But then when I go inside in my OS on the main home screen, I don't have it. And things like this are just an indication that the One UI 7 build for the S24 Ultra is apparently newer, but this is just a speculation. But eventually, let's hope that all the things that work here will also work here. And yeah, now that's not the case, but guys, let me show you what I think is the best way to understand where Samsung did. All right, this is the official tips and the user guide, and they're really different. So this is the one on the S25 Ultra. When you start it, it's gonna tell you what is new in One UI 7. This is kind of the main card here. But the one on the S24 Ultra with the more recent One UI 7 build will tell you Galaxy AI, unlock the full power of your Galaxy. And we know that Galaxy AI is one of the main selling point and kind of the driver behind One UI 7's enhancements, a lot of them. On the S25 Ultra, we do have the Galaxy AI here under the highlights, and on the S24 Ultra we have what's new in One UI 7, so it's kind of reversed, but let's at least see if those are the same things. So I'm gonna click here Galaxy AI, all right, and I'm gonna click Galaxy AI here. And this is interesting, guys. On the S25 Ultra we do have 22 tips, and on the S24 Ultra we have 19 tips. So the first one, which is also a big portion of the new One UI 7 functionality, is this cross integration between Gemini and the core Samsung operating system. This is here, so you can ask now Gemini to create something in your Samsung stock calendar app. Apparently this now also works for the S24 Ultra. But then we have transcribe and summarize calls and listen to web page summaries. That is not included here. Then we directly jump to use the writing assist, which we also have here, and it's almost circa the same until we reach that part here, which is stay up to date with the now brief. All right, so here we are, guys. Those are like these three things that apparently you are not able to do with the S24 Ultra. When you scroll down, you're gonna see it's still the same things, but because I really want to test things out, I just want to be sure. So what is this thing? Listen to web page summaries. So okay, I'm going to open now the Samsung Internet browser. All right, so let's open it here. And by the way, I want to show you, I updated everything that I really was able to find inside the Samsung Galaxy Store. Expert Pro, okay, I still need to update that one. But now for the sake of this video, hopefully this is still gonna work. So if I open the Samsung Internet right now, all right, yeah, it's a bit weird because when I click here, right, I have the summarization, right, the translate and the read highlights allowed. So the thing is, just because this does not exist in the tips doesn't mean that it's not working on the S24 Ultra. But one thing is for sure confirmed, and this is the stay up to date with the now brief. So now let's do the other check. If I click here, what's new in One UI 7, right, and I do the same, but from the highlights, I expect to see the same things, and it's not the same. So we do have 13 tips on the S25 Ultra for what is new in One UI 7 and only 8 tips inside. Most of the settings are the same, but then we have things like smooth zoom slider added for the videos, or save exposure settings for each mode, or even unlocked expert editing options with love videos. But we know that these things actually arrived, guys, because we have been using this Samsung new camera update since a while. Of course, I also expect to have the log option here in the Pro video, so when I go inside the Pro Video, it is absolutely one and the same with, you know, the zoom slider, I'm absolutely certain. But then again, I'm not trying to finger point at Samsung, but you get my point. I have a feeling that all the tips here and the tricks and everything should be completely unified. But I understand those are also not big things. Remember, now we're back on my home screen. So the first thing that we have identified is the now brief that apparently doesn't work on the S24 Ultra. And we also noticed that the battery icon on my S24 Ultra is bigger than the one on the S25 Ultra, which came with One UI 7 out of the box. And there is a reason for this. Let me show you. I'm gonna be now charging my S25 Ultra, okay? See what happens, guys. We have this animation and it says charging, all right? And now, guys, I'm gonna do the same here on the S24 Ultra, all right? And you see, yeah, also the charging animation here, I think it's just better. It's bigger, right? So we can see it easily and it's different. And of course, we kind of need to test this on the lock screen. So what happens when we are on the lock screen, okay? We have this very nice and beautiful charging animation here in the now bar. And luckily, I do believe we still have the very same animation here in the S24 Ultra, but they need just to change the battery icon on the S25 Ultra and just equalize it. And I do understand that right now a lot of people will freak out and say, hey, you know, like this is a big issue. Now, honestly, this is not a biggie, guys. Inside the settings, you're getting like 99.9% the same experience that I am getting from the S25 Ultra. And guys, now one of the biggest questions is, what about the animations? What about the smoothness of their interface? And I can tell you, this is one of the areas where Samsung really outdid themselves. Once you have access to the new updated Home app for One UI 7, you're actually getting unprecedented level of access to your system and fine-tuning. And there are so many things. This will probably deserve series of videos, but I want to show you, once I go inside the gesture settings, there is something called the home gesture tuning that will allow you very easily to change the animations. And okay, this is, for example, now the classic animation. All right, you can see I'm just trying to do this on both phones, and I decided to go with the elegance one. How about feeling as elegant as a butterfly? And you can see this really changes the way things open and close. Or you can go for a dynamic one. Let me show you dynamic. If you like fast animations, dynamic is the thing. Or you can go and use sweet. It will melt away like cotton candy. You cannot not love this. And by the way, yes, this will only affect opening and closing animations. One more time, all right? You can see really like how sweet it is. And then you have simple tuning, right? So you can go to the left to be extremely emotional, right? Like this, all right? Which is pretty much what you get with the Suite. Or you can go to the right and be very fast, okay? So if you want really to get like boom, like these very, very fast animations, then this is for you. I'm gonna close now everything here, guys, and just try to give you a glance on how these both phones operate. Now, all right, I'm gonna open Telegram, all right, X, and now Instagram, and now good luck. And of course, now I am using this very much accelerated animation. That is not my favorite one, so I'm gonna go back in Home app, and I'm going to change it back to elegance. As easy as that. And by the way, there is something more, guys. I do believe that I only scratched the tip of the iceberg. Why? Well, we have something called advanced tuning. When you go inside, you're gonna get crazy with all the things that you can do to modify your interface. Icon movement, all right? Icon scale, tracking positions. I mean, this is something, guys, that I honestly believe puts Samsung ahead of the competition. Because remember, everything here is absolutely stock. I just install official applications. I don't need elevated or root access to start modding. And this is why I do believe we really love Samsung. All right, guys, now I'm gonna close everything. Then I'm gonna open Telegram. All right, just scroll down a bit, exit. I'm gonna open X, try to scroll down, exit. I'm gonna open Instagram. All right, let's try to browse a bit. Something that is interesting, by the way, what happens when I go to the right? This is here the viewfinder. Well, yeah, you see, even this one now is better. This used to be very bad. Okay, now I'm gonna open the camera. I'm gonna go to the front camera and just say hello, guys. Now I'm gonna close, minimize everything, camera. All right, let's go to portrait. All right, photo, video. All right, again, back to photo, guys. And let's just go and do this. Let's just go outside, you can see this works pretty nice. Now I want to show you how smooth this new interface is, because it really is, guys. You can now completely start and stop the animation really when you want. And I'm not 100% sure if this is now non-linear animation, but to me it looks like the real deal, because previously you were not able to do this, and right now you can just wait for the animation to fully expand, or you can decide to interrupt it really where you want. And this now is a very nice experience. So right now I don't think that Samsung with One UI 7 is lagging so much behind the HyperOS, the Color OS, the Origin OS, and the Harmony OS and iOS. I do believe right now that Samsung with One UI 7 is really spot on. And in general, guys, I don't believe that there are a lot of things that are not working well. Also, when you go inside the app drawer, guys, and this was really requested for so long. If I go inside here and I click on sort, I can use alphabetical order. And see what is gonna happen right now, guys. It's gonna give you, right, this mode, okay? So now I do have a absolutely vertical app drawer. People really were mad about this when this was removed with the home app, and now, you know, it's just a simple stock functionality. And I understand the naming is a bit weird, but now we are back to the landscape mode. And I want to show you also something that I do believe is important. Now, how do we customize our home screens? Usually we click here, we go inside the settings. There are so many things inside One UI 7, but again, I don't want to make this a video about One UI 7, but I just want to show you so that you can understand, if you're watching One UI 7 just from a few days, that they're really trying to catch up. So now we have these big folders, right? And again, it's just the tip of the iceberg, and I need to launch Home App again. But when you open Home App, guys, you're gonna get plenty of other options, such as, for example, just modifying everything that you see in the task manager with a slim list like this, you know, with a vertical list. Everything really works stock. And guys, when I told you that you're able to modify it like crazy, I really meant this, because right now they also included something called the do-it-yourself home screen, and this thing is batshit crazy, and I don't think that I'm overreacting. When you go inside the settings, right, and you have enabled this, see here, I don't have it here, but I have it here. You can click DIY, and from here, guys, you can go completely unhinged. You can really do what you want, how you want it. You can, I mean, the options, guys, are so many, it is completely insane. And I'm not joking. Yeah, you can see now I even transformed my folder to look like this. Now, there is no sane person that will probably do this, but the thing is, the options are there, and it's up to you to decide if you want to use them or not. You can place stickers everywhere on the screen. You can really do so many things, and everything is gonna be completely stock. And oh, did I tell you, if you don't like it, boom, just remove it, go back to normal. And even with the folders, it's not only that you have access to large folders. You can have also medium folders, small folders, you pop up like even variable size. So yes, Samsung really outdid themselves, and this is the only reason why I'm in general not so mad with them and with all the delays, because guys, now this is the S25, the S24 Ultra, but the S23 Ultra should get the One UI 7 by end of April, and then we're gonna have May and June, and S22, S21, and then A phones as well. The Z Fold 6 already got this, the Z Fold 5, and etc. So you need to understand, and I need to understand, that that's a tough job for Samsung, but of course this is no excuse. We still expect Samsung to manage these things better, and I do believe that right now with One UI 7 they've built up a great foundation, and that they will not disappoint us anymore. And from now on, I really hope only for the best. And guys, if you have enjoyed this video, please go and watch some of the others. Thank you so much, stay safe, VST over, and bye.